Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be checking out the North Bayou Monitor Desk Arm Mount unboxing, and we're going to be testing it out with 4 different monitors. Number 1 is this 24-inch monitor right here. Next, we've got a 27-inch, a 32-inch, and then a 34-inch ultrawide. Now, as you can see on the box right here, it says 17 to 30-inch monitors. Now that's just crazy because standard monitors are 24 and 27, which means that would only allow you to have 2 main styles of monitor arms. But if we check down here and we look at the load capacity, that goes 4.4 pounds all the way up to 19.8 pounds, so about 20 pounds. And that is a lot of poundage for just the panel itself. So we're gonna be testing all of those. I think this 30-inch screen size is kind of probably wrong, but we'll see. Let's get this thing unboxed right away and see how much we actually have to put together. Overall, a pretty small package. And did I mention the price? This thing is $29.90. Overall, looks pretty good so far. Looks like we have some directions right here, although I set enough of these up, I probably am not going to need these. That looks like it's super difficult. Don't worry, it's not hard. However, a couple things right here look kind of good. The way that it attaches looks like it's gonna be quite easy. Let's get right to this. All right, first we have the gas spring section. The vase mount section is all metal. This is all plastic here. That's where you're seeing the budget. That's all plastic, but this is still metal. Solid metal on that side. You get some cable management that kind of opens up right there. That looks like it's gonna be highly functional. Not quite as pretty with all those little things in there, but quite functional. This is plastic where it attaches. Yeah, overall pretty impressive for less than 30 bucks. Okay, at least at the time of filming. All right, here we have what it's going to attach to. It looks like it's going to be a very interesting design on how to attach it to your desk. And then this is what's going to kind of clip into there. I believe it goes like that. And then that kind of locks in there, like the piece of rubber fell off. But I mean, that is going to make it quite easy to set on basically any desk, maybe without moving the desk away from the wall. Typically with these, I have to move the desk away from the wall and then put this down. But this, well, it looks like it could be really good. Then you have the bottom of the mount. Now this is the part that does look a little bit more budget. That's just not as pretty. Don't really like that they have their North Bayou logo there. This is kind of a cheaper plastic ring. But again, most of the stuff that's important where build quality matters looks like it's going to be okay. It also looks like you could take this little plastic piece off and you could put some cable management through there, which is really interesting. It actually looks like it's made for 2 USBs right there, but you could do some cable management possibly. All right, next we have a bunch of stuff here. Now, I believe that metal thing is actually used for if you want to drill through your desk and have a hole in there, but we're not gonna be doing that today. I think the majority of people are gonna be using this and just clamping it to their desk. That's the easiest way to do it. And then lastly in the box, we got the other section of the monitor arm. This looks very straightforward, and it looks like it actually may be one of the easiest installations we've ever done with a monitor arm, which is surprising considering its price point. Okay, so this section is fairly light, but again, this whole section is metal. We got metal attachments right there and there, which is nice. These are fully bolted in. And then we've got some nice cable management. That looks a little bit hard to pry apart. Yeah, definitely not the best cable management on the bottom. Probably still usable, although we'll see. All right, let's get this thing hooked up. First thing that we're gonna do, because this is a new design, I'm just gonna kind of look over the directions super fast. Yeah, so I was right. You can put USBs on the bottom of this, although you would have to buy those separately, but if you did wanna put some USBs right there, I mean, that's something you can do. You don't expect that for 29 bucks, but a cool option. This is stupid easy. This is really, really well designed as far as just looking at it, how it's gonna work. Okay, so right away, you're gonna take this piece and this piece. We're gonna dump all of that out. Now, most of this you're not going to use if you're doing the installation like I am. All right, now in here, they include a couple different wrenches, and these are not only to install them, but also to tighten them, which is what you're going to need to adjust it to your monitor. Don't worry, super easy. All right, so in here, we got these 3 bolts, and you can either use this one to tighten it by hand, but I'm going to be using a drill today, although I don't recommend it unless you're very good with drills. All right, so the first thing, take this piece, put it there just like that, and then put those screws right in there, get them a little bit by hand. There we go, and then screw them in, and there we go. Now that's all put in, guys. Stupid easy to install this. First what we're gonna do, put this right where we want this to be. Okay, so if we want this over here and having this swing over that way also, we got rubber right here, rubber feet, so it's not gonna hurt your desk. All right guys, and to mount this, we're gonna either do this to the left side or the right side, or if you're sitting way far back, you can do it in the middle. But for today, we're gonna be doing it right there, about. That's what I would say. If you do want to test this out, you kind of just put these together kind of like that. And you're probably going to have it lower than this, and it's going to extend itself out a little bit. So once that's there, you're going to take this piece, which is the bottom screw-in bracket. Now we're going to go under the desk to where you can see the bottom of this. Now I'm going to be kind of squatting my head down. But once you're down here, you're gonna take this, you're gonna put it through, and you're gonna lock it into one of the ones that makes sense. And you can see that one locks in. Now all you're gonna do is screw that up until it gets tight against your desk. We're gonna go a little bit more until that thing is really hard to tighten. And looks like that. And there we go. Now it's super solid. Now up here at the top, we can actually test this out, and that's not going anywhere. That's now part of the desk. You can see how easy it was to put in. It's that easy to take out. We're gonna take this section like that. Don't do it this way. With this face down, slide that in, and that's installed, done. We take this section, slide that in, and now that's installed. Now with those in, we're gonna take this little one, the smallest one, and you're gonna see on the edge, we have this little screw. All you're gonna do is just tighten that down. All that's gonna do is allow this to not pull up. You see I now, oh, so it needs a little bit tighter. So there we go. Now this can still move. Actually it needs to be a little bit looser because it's a little too tight, but now that creates some amount of resistance, a little bit tighter. There we go, that's pretty much perfect. But guys, there it is. That is how easy it is. Now it's all set up on the desk. It's ready to have your monitor sit on there, so let's go and do that now. Now in this little packet, you're gonna have 4 of these screws that are going to be Phillips head, and they're not gonna be these super long ones. These may be for standoffs like that. We'll see if we'll need those. So we're gonna set all of this stuff aside, but these are the ones you're gonna probably wanna keep. So I'm gonna take these, put them in my pocket. We're gonna take this, and we're just gonna turn it sideways until it's about 90 degrees with these little parts facing upwards. You can see it says up right there. This is the best way to install monitors, and I'm gonna show you why it's so easy. Let's start it off with the smaller, the 24-inch. This panel weighs in at about 7.5 pounds. All right, and here is the panel. It's a 24GN650 by LG. So here's the panel. It's only a 24-inch, but this one actually has the VESA mount screws pre-installed on the back. Yours may or may not have this. If you don't have them, then you got the screws already that come in that box. But for this, you're gonna need a hand Phillips head. It's the one with 4. And then if yours doesn't have any screws on it, then screw them into the top. But since ours has it, we're gonna unscrew the bottom ones. So take out the bottom ones, and if you don't have any installed, then install them into the top. Now when you install these into the top, you want them about halfway screwed in. So you can see there, that's about halfway screwed in, but it's still completely in there. Now with that, you're gonna turn it like this, and we're gonna line those up. Now, if you have a 75mm VESA mount rather than 100, it's the same process. You're just gonna put it into these top. And all we're gonna do is just line those top screws up, set it down. So that screw is a little bit too tight, so I'm gonna open that up a little bit, set it down, and there we go. All right, then take those other 2 screws and screw them into the bottom holes. And there we go. Once those are installed, tighten the top ones. They're still a little bit loose. And guys, that's it. That's why that's the easiest and best way to install it. Now guys, you have a monitor arm. Literally, what is that, 5-6 minutes? There's basically no putting together. I'm really impressed so far. Now with this one, we go like that, comes right back up to the top. So now we're gonna go over the adjustments. Again, super easy. Come over here. We have these wrenches. I think we're gonna be using the big one now. So the first thing you'll see is this is only 7.5 or 7.9 pounds or something like that. When we press it down, it doesn't stay and it comes back up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press this down, hold it, come over here, and there's a plus and a minus. We're gonna turn this to the minus to decrease the amount of tension it has. So we're gonna decrease a little bit, try to move it up, and you can see now it stays. Now you can see when it goes to the top there, it'll still come up, so it needs even less tension as this is a fairly light monitor and it's only 24 inches. And now let's try that. That looks just about perfect. So you can see now we can do this, we can move that any way that we want to, upside down, to the right, tilt it all the way up, tilt it all the way down. I mean, that's why monitors are so unbelievably cool. Now, the same thing happens with this. This is a little bit, well, I think it's too easy because on the bottom it kind of slips down there. So come over here, and here with the tilt, it's the same thing. Uses the same one right here. So we're going to now not decrease it, but we're going to increase it. Go this way just a little bit, and now absolutely, absolutely perfect. So obviously this handles a 24-inch absolutely perfectly well. Let's go up in weight and see how this does, however. All right guys, now a 27-inch monitor. This weighs in at 8 pounds now, only a little bit more, but again, we're bumping it all the way up to a 34-inch ultrawide at the end of the video. But with this one, we're not just going to install this, but we're also going to hook everything up so we can see how the cable management does. Now this one also comes with pre-installed screws. So remove the bottom screws, slightly unscrew the top screws, place this onto the top of the mount, then install and tighten all the rest of the screws. And then lastly, make all of your adjustments. Does the tilt work great? Yeah, it works fine. Tilt's great here, which is something that a lot of budget monitors kind of struggle with. but that's the big test for the 34-inch ultrawide. Check the height, and it's a nice and strong arm. I'm thoroughly impressed, but again, only 8 pounds. We'll see with that ultrawide. All right, now these are all the cables that we need: our DisplayPort cable and our power cable, and then this is the cable for the keyboard. So firstly, I like to plug the cables in first. We're gonna find this, plug that in, and then I like to work down instead of working up. Then you typically get shorter cables. This is actually really nice. That one just opens right up. That's great. It also allows some give, which is really nice. This one, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be the best, but we're gonna try it out. Yeah, this one's tight. This one's really tight. But we're gonna try to press it in there, and it goes in. It's gonna keep the cables really nicely in there, but it's kind of tough to get it in. All right, yeah, I mean, it does work well. We're gonna do the same thing for the DisplayPort. All right, plugging that DisplayPort cable in. Keep in mind, this is a thick cable, so this will definitely be a testament to how good this is. And then we're gonna install it into this one. This is just a walk in the park. This one, I'm not even sure if it's gonna go in. This is a really thick cable. Oh, it did, it went in. Okay, cable management's not bad. Let's see how it looks. All right, so now let's step back. We got the cables kind of pulled over that way. Doesn't look bad. Hidden very well up here. I mean, honestly, not the greatest in the world, but far better looking than I was expecting for the price point. The only thing I really don't like is the North Bayou logo right there and the North Bayou logo on the side right up there. Those are the only things I don't like, but for $29.90, wow, that's really good. Now you can see with the keyboard and everything hooked up, look at how incredibly cool that looks for $29.90, which is insane. If you're only rocking a 27-inch monitor, even if you're going, I think, higher, I mean, this monitor seems like it's going to be handle weight, no problem, but we're gonna see. Look at this. This is incredible. For the price, this is a really competent arm. Honestly, way better than I was expecting. And when you're only looking at 30-inch screen size, it's gonna turn a lot of people off. But this has a huge weight cap. I think it's gonna be able to do an ultrawide, no problem, but we'll see here. The biggest thing that I'm worried about here is down here. Maybe this would be the only point of failure. I think the arm itself is gonna be fine. That's not super wide, but also at the same time, it's so tight. I mean, there's no movement here. We're gonna check under the desk. I mean, all of this is really, really good. It just seems almost impossible for that to come loose there. It would really have to have a huge amount of weight on it. That's what it seems like. But guys, I'm the one that's gonna test it out. So if something goes wrong, it's gonna go wrong with mine. Highly impressive. Honestly, the cable management, I mean, it looks really good. Let's come back here and check it out. I'm gonna kind of grab the camera and show you just how good that looks. 29 bucks, guys. Crazy. The next test is we're gonna be doing this Asus monitor, 32 inches, weighing at about 10 pounds. 10 pounds when we start getting into the heavier monitors, and 32 inches, that's a lot more force in kind of different ways, gravitational ways. Physics, come on guys, you guys know. That's gonna be interesting, let's do it now. All right guys, now we're doing the 32-inch. This is an Asus, weighs about 10 pounds now, but it's a whole lot bigger and 2 inches over their max. They say 30 inches is the max screen size. There it is. This is a curved monitor as well. So taking this out of that box, there we go. A curved 32-inch monitor, 10 pounds, definitely substantially heavier. And we're gonna set it right here. Here we got no screws on the base mount, still 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter. So we're gonna be using these screws now. Now what I like to do is just screw one in all the way to make sure it goes, see that goes far enough. Some of them, it'll stop. So you'll have to use shorter screws or you'll have to use those standoffs, which it does come with again. Those black little rings, but we won't need that with that since these can screw all the way in. So again, take these screws, screw them about halfway in, just on the top. All right guys, and now a 32-inch screen size on this monitor arm. Now the only thing we gotta watch out for, I think, really, the gas spring's gonna be fine. I mean, we can see here, I'm gonna raise this up. We haven't even adjusted anything. And you see it's a little bit, so that's gonna fall there. We're gonna take our little hex wrench to adjust this and we're gonna increase the tension now here. Now again, remember, this is up to 30 inches. This is 32 inches. I think it's gonna handle it fine. There we go, increasing the tension. Might be able to do it a little bit more. Do it a few twists. Absolutely perfect. The one place where budget ones seem to have an issue is the tilt, and especially the tilt down. Once you go closer down there, it gets a little bit more difficult. So let's tighten it up a little bit. Just 2 half turns, golden. I mean, that's really good. The only thing is I'm going to go underneath the table and let's see what it looks like when I'm wobbling it. I mean, the desk is moving, but literally nothing else is. This is incredibly impressive. I mean, literally you can do anything. It's nice and tight, which is what you want. You want all of these to be, when you set it in it, you want it to stay there. And I mean, this is really good. Any movement you want, you can go vertical, you can go way down, incredibly good. But now the ultrawide with an even higher weight. We're gonna fully hook that one up because I think it's clear this can handle a 32-inch. That 30-inch, don't even worry about it. You can definitely do a 32-inch 100%. All right, guys, now the final 34-inch ultrawide. This weighs in at 13.5 pounds, so substantially heavier than all of the rest of them. Let's get this thing on it and see how it does. All right, now let's set it on here and see how this thing does it. See how it takes the weight right away. so far sitting on there pretty nicely. Guys, this $29.90 monitor arm is impressing me. All right, guys, and a 34-inch ultrawide on here. We have this one fully hooked up as well. 13.5 pounds. I have the wrench if we need it. This is 19.2 pounds and up to a 30-inch screen size. This is significantly bigger than a 30-inch screen size. Let's see if this needs any more adjustment. Doesn't look like it needs any more adjustment at all there. Looks like it's doing fine. I'm gonna jiggle it a little bit and check underneath. Yeah, it looks totally fine there. I mean, come on, guys. Let's check the tilt here. I mean, it's completely solid. No problems at all. That's amazing. $29 and it's keeping up a 34-inch ultrawide at 13.5 pounds. That's incredibly good. And the installation process was the single easiest I've ever used, and this is definitely the cheapest monitor arm I've ever used. This is shockingly good. I mean, I was expecting this to be pretty good because it did get pretty good reviews with a lot of them, but this good is unbelievably good. You can't go wrong with under 30 bucks for something like this that makes your desk look absolutely insane. I've been telling people you need to get monitor arms for years. If you have a cheap monitor, 30 bucks. If you have an expensive monitor, doesn't matter. It'll hold it up. I mean, it's probably not going to do a super ultrawide 49-inch. It's probably not going to do a 38-inch ultrawide. And it's probably not going to do a 40-inch monitor. But come on, if you're buying those monitors, you have the money for a more expensive one. This is amazing. I mean, the only con here that I can really say, the only con is you're getting a smaller base and you're getting those logos. The cable management is actually pretty good. It's pretty dang easy to work with, especially this one. Doesn't look the nicest, but the cables are out of the way. When it's on your desk, let's come back here and just appreciate how unbelievably good that looks. I mean, that looks amazing. I'm gonna take the camera and just show you. For this look, you're getting 29 bucks and the functionality of better than any of the best stand. I mean, come on. That's amazing. Guys, if you want to check it out, there are Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. I highly recommend it. I'm going to tell you right now, I highly recommend it. You might be like, what about long-term durability? Well, a lot of those Chinese gas springs all come from the same factory. So I've used a lot of those Chinese ones for 2-3 years. And I've had zero problems using them every day. In fact, let's go in the other room right now. Opening the door, coming down this hallway, come on. And in the main area that we're editing, in here, it's a little a mess, but we've got a monitor on an ErGear stand. And granted, this is a bigger monitor arm. And down here, same monitor arm here. I have a review, I'll link it below as well if you want to check it out. Those gas springs have been going well for over 3 years on, well, 34-inch ultrawides all day long. And granted, that monitor arm in there, for a $29 price point, it is smaller. You can see when we're going max height, that's how high we're going. Those in there can go a little bit higher, but let's think about this for a second. Are you really gonna need it higher than this? This is not quite standing desk height. If I did this, though, now we're working. If you need something higher, I would go with the ErGear. If, well, what I've shown you in this video is enough, definitely, I highly recommend this. It's unbelievable. Again, if you want to check it out, Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But this is Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.